What's up, you guys? This video is going to be about some special exercises that you could do to improve posture, or whether that's like a forward kind of arch back posture or something like that. I had a question of like this in the comment section, someone suggesting what are some exercises you could do in the total gym to improve this kind of arch back type posture. And so that's what I'm going to address in this video. I thought it was a good topic. It's one that I could talk, honestly, I could go on 2 hours talking about posture and some little things to kind of think about, but I'm going to try and make this as condensed as possible with some big bullet point things to kind of take home, along with some exercises in the video you guys will see as well. So before I get into this, guys, if you guys like this content, want to see more of it, please like and or subscribe. I'm going to do my best to try and control myself because there's a lot I could say and I don't want this video too drawn out. One thing I'll just say right off the bat is that, first, this is a big common problem. A lot of people ask me this question, and I've counseled people on this question a lot. I'm faced with this just like everybody else is. I'm sitting in a chair throughout the day just as much as most people are. Your posture, just like a lot of things in the body, is your body's response to an adaptation that you're kind of a demand that you placed upon it. So your body thinks it's doing you a favor by adapting this posture because it's just saving you energy. This takes a lot more energy kind of sitting upright and doing a lot of work like this. So it thinks it's doing you a favor. And I will just say that one of the best things to do to be mindful about not getting this type of posture is just literally being conscientious of it and conscious of it, and then just kind of thinking about sitting upright once in a while, or at least retracting your shoulder blades throughout either sitting, seated, but also throughout various exercises. You guys know, if you watch this channel, I mention that often about making sure their shoulder blades are retracted. But keeping that in mind, that your body, this is an adaptation. It's going to take some time to adapt to, again, quote unquote ideal. And I hate even saying kind of ideal posture, but I don't want to get stuck in the weeds of like super secret special exercises or stretches to do. Really, the biggest thing to remember is remember to just be conscientious of it and to be mindful about it. Now, this is kind of like a picture of like what like stereotypical like ideal posture is, using like a plumb line drawing, where if you're standing straight upright, you have your like a neutral spine where you have your natural cervical curves, natural thoracic curve in the mid back, natural lumbar curve in the lower back. And if you drew a straight line, the line's kind of going through your middle of your ear, middle of your shoulders, middle of your hip, middle of your knees, and then right through your ankle. That's kind of what we do as like ideal posture. Now, some clinicians and things take this to two extremes, like you have to get like this or you're going to be in pain or discomfort. I will just say again, this is just a natural response to your body adapting to demands placed upon it. So keep in mind, this is something you could shoot for. I'm something to be mindful about if you're standing straight up and down. But I'll show you guys an image here in a second. I'm just kind of going live off of some clips I put up here, and I'll be talking over it. If you think of like a farmer or somebody that like is in the field all day working, you guys will see something come up here in a second. They're bending over the pick. Like if I think of like a rice farmer or someone who's like baling pumpkins. I don't know why I always say that. Someone who's doing any kind of like manual labor in the field. That's a lot of forward flexing, bent over movement. Now, we wouldn't tell the farmers, hey, you're doing it wrong. I want you to do it this way. Bend at your knees, and there's a better way of doing it. This is just the most efficient way to do that kind of work for long periods of time. And ideally, that's probably the best way to do it if this is their lifestyle. But the problems come up with if this type of person, I'm just making a dramatic example, where if this person's doing this all day in this type of posture, and now they want to start an exercise program to start playing pickup basketball, the zero posture, or that ideal kind of posture we think about, that's just a good posture because it allows you a lot of flexibility to do a number of things without getting injured. Because if you have this kind of posture, you're kind of bent over and slouched over, and now you start doing like benching or pulling with heavy weights, that's where an injury can kind of manifest itself. So kind of starting slow and recognizing that if you're coming from this kind of stereotypical image of working at a desk all day, I know a lot of people who have this. In fact, I see a lot of kids, if my nephews are watching, I mentioned this to my nephews. They don't watch these videos, but if they did, or one day if they do see this, I'm harping on them all the time because they're at a young age and they're already kind of getting this like big kink in the mid back from just doing, whether that's long-term video games or doing schoolwork at a desk or on a computer or whatever, starting at a young age. We want to be careful about that because we're meant to move around, we're meant to be flexible, and we're meant to be physically active. And this type of posture is really just your body. You're telling your body, hey, I'm not going to be physically active. The majority of my time is just going to be sitting in this, this chair in this type of posture, in which case that would be an energy efficient posture. So now that I got that out of the way, I just wanted to kind of clarify to you guys that don't think a posture is just purely, right or wrong. It's kind of neutral. It's just the demands you're placing upon it. Now, next, I'm just going to jump right into some exercises to show you. If you kind of could guess it, what we're trying to do here is a lot of strengthening those muscles in the back. Now, you can also say, as a school of thought, that along with strengthening muscles in the back, you'd also want to stretch muscles in the front, like your chest muscles, because we're thinking of like length tension relationship, where your muscles are tight up here from sitting in this posture. So you'd want to stretch these and then lengthen the back here or weak back there, or because you're kind of sitting in this rounded posture. Now, don't worry too much about the stretching too much. I mean, I'm just saying these are some things definitely kind of be conscientious of. What I like about rowing, obviously, or any kind of pulling exercise is that it's working those muscles in the mid back. But not only just doing that, it's also, this is an example of what not to do. Don't start bending over and having that same posture you have throughout the day and then doing it in your exercise. Consciously think throughout all exercises, not just pulling, but also impressing exercises, sitting upright and tall like that, and that really focusing on those muscles in the middle of the back as kind of contracting and kind of squeezing together as you're doing any kind of row. Really anything, your posture should be ideal. So that idea of being conscientious of your posture, that's something I kind of harp on people a lot. Even if you're doing something like a lower body exercise, like you're doing a single leg lunge, or I'm sorry, just like a static lunge, you're staying still and just lunging up and down. If you're lunging kind of slouched over, I mean, that's still an opportunity to kind of stand upright, nice and tall. Even if you have bad posture, you can start improving it immediately. Just kind of fake it till you make it type of thing, where you guys know this. If you're just kind of sitting, if you just open yourself up, you automatically just have like just a better presence about you. And it just looks a lot better too, just kind of sitting more upright. But right here, all I want you guys to think about, these are, as I'm talking over it, these are the exercises I would do. Basically any kind of pulling and rowing, but you have to emphasize, again, the correct way of thinking about the muscles in the middle of your back, your traps, your back, obviously your lats, and those kind of really squeezing together and contracting as you're doing it. Some frontal raise stuff as well, not just like straight frontal raises, but I'm doing extreme frontal raise, or like almost like a Y. Why I'm doing that is to kind of open up my back. Again, those muscles in my back, if I'm sitting down like this throughout the day, that's just something to kind of give some movement and some flexibility and some range of motion back there. This also, it goes without saying, should alleviate some pain. Or I should say tension in the back if it's kind of stiff back there as well. Rear delt flies, I probably said this at least 20 plus times in this channel. I say this is one of the best exercises for people to do because of this very idea that people are kind of in their desks all day, bent over, hunched over. So this is something I tell people to do. It's also just a neglected muscle group because most people want to work the front stuff like chest and shoulders a lot more, and they ignore some of those really special exercises. We do a lot of like rowing, but upright rowing, upright rear flies really work those postural muscles in the back and shoulders, which are generally the weaker ones. And again, you have some examples where people are really kind of hunched over, almost like a huge like kink in their back. That's in the extreme way, but my point is everybody, I think, across the board could benefit from doing a lot of these exercises. So emphasize at least twice a week, just with your regular back days, or you could say with some shoulder days, just getting in some of these exercises. And again, being conscientious of not just the posture, but really opening up and kind of extending that mid back. Because odds are most people aren't in this height. You can get in hyperextension though. That's possible. Most people aren't doing that. This is an exercise I promote all the time. Someone has low back pain, bad posture. This isn't a total gym exercise, but we'll show you a variation. Is this prone cobra? I actually did a video on my channel a long time ago about this. This is the best exercise you can do. As far as I'm concerned, this is the best core exercise you could do because core exercise, any muscle that attaches the lumbar-pelvic hip complex. So this is still technically a core exercise. It's like the opposite of a plank. We're making sure you're coming up off the ground, makes your glutes are squeezed, your back is extended, everything's as much as you can, your head's in neutral, and your hands are supinated, thumbs opening up this way, not pointing down. If you point your hands down, then your shoulder will kind of round forward. You can also use your total gym for this exercise, which is also perfect. It gives you guys, you can actually hold this a little bit longer. I tell people a 3-minute hold is something to kind of shoot for. You can do some repetitions going down and up if you guys would like this as well. Another great exercise is this kind of a neck hold. You can do this, kind of brace yourself against the wall and kind of hold this with your neck kind of in a nice straight line. You can also do this to the total gym. So I'm going to combine both those exercises into one right here. Kind of weird, might look weird, but it's kind of killing two birds with one stone. I'm putting some tension on my neck to kind of fight with my cervical extensors, and I'm also getting into that prone cobra position. There's a few other subtle exercises that you could do, but I just wanted to showcase and hit some big bullet points. This is a 10-minute video already, I can see. I wanted to make this a little bit shorter, but that's kind of the gist of the exercise. You can put it in the mid back here too. Hopefully this is beneficial. I could talk a lot more about posture and things of this nature, but I want to keep things simple as always and get right to the point, even though I know I can rant in these videos. So thanks again for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.